Yeah, we don't have like a, agenda or nothing, but since you're on, I think we were thinking that this would be a great Atlanta sports. First off, follow up on your last one, discussing the Hawks. But, we can hit the Hawks. If you want to do some Braves talk, that's cool. I want to talk about the draft for the Falcons. I know you got some takes there. And then, anything else we want to kind of cover. Anything else, and like right now, if we have any ideas, I could add it to the list. Shit can come up,
I got one. I got something I want to start off with. Let's go ahead and get it popping. We're recording, and here we are. But before we do any introductions or nothing, P, can you please tell us what you think about our intro music?
Oh, I thought, I'm so used to hearing it on the podcast that I was waiting for you to play it. I think it's great.
Low-key, me too.
My bad.
I was sitting here just waiting like, all right.
I guess I could, but that's going to take too much work right now.
Yeah, no, I got it.
All
We
right.
already had enough audio problems earlier. So, no, man, I think it's great. I think it's the next step to professionalism. And,
hell yeah.
the next step to getting ad revenue. You know what I mean? And then eyes on the everything, but you got to get everybody with the intro. The intro's great.
Appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Well, shout out to Blackman Sound Productions, BSP. But anyway, let's go ahead and get it popping. All right. Intro music plays.
Yo, that nigga said got me feeling alright. Oh yeah, got me feeling like I actually know how to do this shit. Goddamn, freestyling. What's up? What's your boy? I'm so glad to be here, back in the A, from Boston, man. Big Tunde, Baba Tunde, that's me. Let's go. RTBTH, real talk beyond the headlines, beyond the headlines, real talk beyond the headlines, beyond the headlines. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and welcome back to RTBTH. It's your boy Hurt. So happy to be here. The realest podcast in the land. Get ready. What we talking about today, Tone?
Now we're back.
That's funny. They also call me BSP. All that bullshit, I be talking BS,
BSP.
That's a good one. Bruh, we got to work on the cold open, man. I love a cold open. I think the shit can be really funny at work, but that was a little bit awkward, but we're going to continue in from there. Bro, I'm excited to have Parodies back on the podcast. Welcome back. This is another great opportunity for us, I feel like, to chop it up, recap from the last time you were on and talk about Atlanta sports specifically in this podcast. So very excited. I know our listeners are ready for that. So first off, do we want to just jump straight into it with the Hawks?
Yeah, I'm down, man.
Is that a Hawks hat you're wearing?
Yeah, I love the hat, bro.
It's actually a Supersonics hat, man.
Damn.
I know, man. I thought about not wearing it, but I was like, you know what? It's better than nothing. And
It's fresh.
Sonics right now, there's no team in Seattle, so it's cool. It's a neutral.
Yep.
So in my
It's just a retrofit.
Yeah, that too. I was in Seattle, so I bought it, so I was like, you know what, let me rock it. It's one of my favorite hats to wear.
Fair enough. I understand. I mean, why would you want to wear Hawks gear right now?
Hey now.
I rock it every day, man. I'm a walking billboard.
I mean, come on, man. These guys definitely could have who did they
Bro, we want
to
to play in? Nah,
Who did
man.
they
Don't
lose
worry
to?
about that.
I forgot who
We
they
lost to
we lost to the Celtics.
to the Celtics. Oh yeah. I was watching. I think I told P this already. I was watching like game 4 maybe or game 3 because it was the first game the Hawks won, and like the Boston fans were so shocked. They were like, they thought they were just gonna sweep through the thing, and I mean, I guess they're in the Western Conference Finals now, so perhaps they should have felt that way. But I was like, man, y'all don't sleep. Y'all out here about to take an L.
The Hawks beat the other team that is now playing the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Final in the play-in. So, I mean, they had some talent to, disrupt for sure. But, I'm proud of the boys this year. I think last time when you were on Parodies, you discussed getting the coach up out of there, and that did occur. So I wanted to hear your thoughts on, how that transition went down. Let us know. Let the fans know.
All right, man, where do I start? So first off, it kind of worked out because we got Snyder, right? So the patience paid off. But it makes you think, like, if we had a decent coach in there, we could have made a run if Snyder was there from the beginning. But he probably wouldn't be available beginning of the year. So can't play Captain Hindsight, none of that. But Nate had to fucking go, man. I don't know if I curse, my bad. He had to go. And
You're not fucking with the ad revenue yet. Don't worry.
no, okay, cool. I mean, you could tell, man, just the second that he was gone, the whole team, even the coaching staff, besides his son that, wanted to be a little
little bitch? Is that what you wanted to say?
Yeah, man, little bitch.
Yo, we're all explicit, on this podcast. We have it checked.
I was trying not to be a jackass about it, but it's like, whatever, because I don't know what he was saying, but
this podcast is all about jackassery.
Yeah, okay, that's why I fit in. But Joe Prunty, I feel bad that he had to go with the Snyder's new moves, that he's not going to be coming back, but. I went to a game after he was gone, and just the energy was different. The players were like happy to be playing. Jalen, it was funny is there was like a meet the team event like after he was fired, and I went, and me and my son went, and I went to see Jalen. I was like, hey, Jalen, man, like, you happy Nate's gone? And he was like smiling, and I was like, you're going to get some more run now, man. I can't wait to see you. And he was just like all smiles. Just the energy was way different, man. And the mess up part is you saw some of the media come out and say like, oh, they lost a good coach, man. Fuck out of here. Nate has been a coach for 19, 20 years as like a head coach or something in NBA. 2 playoff series wins, maybe, if that. And one of them was Eastern Conference run because of Trey. He sucks. There's no other way to put it. He had a defensive background, but couldn't even, run defense, and literally wouldn't give anybody any like advice on how, like, the series against the Heat. It was ridiculous the way that he literally just sat there and didn't do anything. And literally the team was just running into a buzzsaw and no adjustments, no help. And it's like, what the hell are you here for? Just to like be the guy that's going to be turning in the starting lineup. Like, what's the point of you being here if you're not going to do adjustments? I mean, just from the beginning, Snyder being here, I mean, granted, it was a small sample size and there's a lot to improve on, but I mean, just the energy, addition by subtraction goes a long way.
Do you feel like he put to bed the trade rumors for Trae Young? I know that was kind of late in the season as well. I don't know if that stemmed from Nate McMillan or if it was something Quinn Snyder was kind of, because, every time something like that comes out, you got to look at like who that type of leak 100%. Benefits, and I don't know if that was leadership, front office, trying to, I don't get that as motivation. I wouldn't go so far as to say something like that, but, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. It's stupid. Any Hawks fan that thinks, Trey's got his problems and his things he's got to work on, like the damn
you could have other problems
threes. 100%. Yeah. Hey, you know what I mean? But no, Trey, he gets so much ridicule, and he needs, like, for instance, those long threes at the end of games that are just like momentum killers, that he wants to just take that shot to kind of get the crowd going. Sometimes it's unnecessary and it kills us. But man, anybody that says Trey needs to go, we should look at trading him, has not been a Hawks fan for a long time. Like, we haven't had a guy like this ever. I mean, maybe since Dominique's time, right? That was this much of a star and that was making like these kind of runs and battling against like the superstars of the league. So you just signed him. I really don't know who started that. I don't think it was Nate. I think it has something to do with the front office. Maybe it's them trying to seem tough on Trey or something. But if that is them, that's stupid of them. I mean, you can just say, yeah, everybody's available if you want to do that. But I wouldn't go out and say like, Trey specifically is available. I guess maybe media may have maybe followed up on that, but I don't know who did that. I don't know if they're watching our team, if they've seen our team the last couple of years. Trey literally hasn't had a coach.
Yep. Totally agree. So, looking forward to next year, I feel like Dejounte is going to continue to develop. Do you have high expectations for next season?
Oh, I mean, next year, definitely. I think next year is the year that you can start being critical of Trey. So he has all the talent.
Not before this. You did have some criticism of the long shots. I'll give you some pushback.
No. Meaning like criticism in the sense of being the guy and being able to make a run. Every player till they retire is going to have criticism. That's just you have to say that to keep it unbiased, right? You can't say that. I mean, look at Embiid. He literally just like his MVP and just withered away, right? And so no, he's definitely not without criticism. But to say that he needs to go or that he can't take a team, I mean, he literally did it without a proper coach or a proper big man. You know, I mean, Capella was getting eaten up by Embiid and still they beat the Sixers, right? I mean, they were a Trey injury away and Giannis freak recovery. Like I don't know how he recovered from that hyperextension, right? I mean, he's shown that he can do it. I think his bad habits have started to show its head a lot more recently because of no coaching. So when you don't have coaching, you get frustrated. You start resorting to bad habits, your old comfort zone, right? And so I think that's what's happened, and that's what I mean by like, there's been a lot of BS that's been going on that I think has contributed to why they've been playing like this. And I think now all those excuses are gone. And now you can't say he doesn't have a coach that can scheme, that can adjust. He doesn't have a coach that can play or develop. He doesn't have a coach that's worth a damn, you know? So all that is gone. So that's what I mean by now you can truly judge him without now you can really give him the 100%. Okay, what can you do, Trey? You know, and so I think up until now, there's always been other reasons and other things that you could be like, oh, here, that's an excuse. But now there's just like, all right, we got a coach, we have talent, we have everything. So what can we do?
Yeah, no, I feel you. Great analysis. Go ahead, Tim.
Parodies, man. You know, I feel like the Hawks definitely are a good Eastern Conference team and very competitive. And obviously they went to the Eastern Conference Finals a couple years ago, and you know, it would have been crazy if they went to the finals. You know, I feel like there's a couple things that they are kind of short on. First of all, we talk about the free agent thing, and I text you about this all the time. They gotta get somebody. First of all, it's Atlanta. It's Trae Young. I don't know what the ownership situation is like, but hopefully it's a good, gushy one. You know, like it's not gonna, especially when you got Boston, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Like there's some stalwarts in the East. Same with Giannis, but I guess that's maybe questionable after this season. Second thing, Trae Young is not a lockdown 3 guy, and he definitely pulls up from half court or whatever the logo, and he hits shots. But I'm like, that's not really the best strategy. You kind of were just talking about that, you know, relying on old or bad habits. But it's like, okay, I feel like if we start to think that Trae is some kind of 3-ball guy, like this lockdown, you know, sharpshooter, you know, that's not great basketball for what they could potentially do. And perhaps the new coach is going to come in and correct that. But so the two things are like the free agent situation and to what extent can Trae Young carry a team like Curry can. You know, because that's where we might.
There you go. That's the thing. Stop comparing yourself to Curry. You're not Curry, right?
Okay.
Like, I think people see him being he's even smaller than Steph. Like Steph gets this thing for being small, but I guess maybe that was when it was a big man's league back then. So it's gotten a little bit smaller now. So, but Steph is maybe
6'3",
3 to 4 inches taller than Trae, right?
Yeah, that's pretty big. Even though it's small in the league, that's still like, you know, pretty big for like a point guard. That's a nice sizable point guard. So anyway, go on.
Yeah, and Steph also is a way different type of player. He plays off the ball. He's more of like a shooting guard. You know, like he's gonna, you know, the whole offense is predicated off his movement, so he's got to keep going, and he's always trying to get to the basket. He doesn't solely rely on the 3. His 3 I think the way Steph plays, he's constantly attacking. He's constantly moving. And then when he's feeling it, he'll start hitting the threes. He'll start doing, he has that better feel for the game, but he has a proper system around him. He has proper players around him. So that's why he was able to do this. It was kind of like a combination of all these beautiful things coming together. I mean, you're never going to get a top, when Golden State was playing, they had their top 8 or 9 guys were able to pass, dribble, and shoot the ball. Like, you could run your system and not worry about handing the ball off to Bogut because he can pass the ball. He's smart with it. You have Iguodala, you have Livingston, you have all these David West, all these guys that can handle the ball and smart IQ players, right? So it's unfair to compare him to Steph because they're not the same player. It's just this media that's doing it. So I don't think he compares himself to Steph, but I think he's in love with the 3-ball too much. And I think it's maybe also, it takes a lot of energy, man, to continue to attack the ball like that. I listened to a podcast where Trey worked out with Steph's guy, and they're really, really like picky about who they let come in with them because it's a really, really hard workout. Like, it is intense, and not everybody can get through it. So they have many runs before he can even get to run with Steph in his training. And so he did that, and the trainer was talking about how Trey still has a long way to go. I mean, he's very talented, but he wasn't saying it specifically, but he was saying that as an example. Like, all these guys are so far away from Steph in the terms of the way he prepares and how far along he is. And so it's just kind of unfair. And so I don't know if Trey thinks that he is a similar comparison to Steph, but he definitely had those comparisons coming into the league. But Trey is more of like a scoring point guard because he likes to have the ball in his hand. He can drive the ball. He can dish. I mean, he likes to get everybody involved. I think one of his undervalued assets is getting everybody involved. Like, he can get things done. And so part of that is usage rate, right? He's always has the ball in his hand, so he's going to get assists. But, everybody focuses on him, right? And so he hasn't had anybody to come and help him figure that out. There's a lot that comes with figuring that out, and then also implementing a system where he plays off the ball. Now that we got DJ, he should be able to run the point, and let Trey, run his little screens. But I don't even know if that is just really unfair to literally try to clone him like Steph and put him in the exact same system as Steph. But they need to create a system where he's off the ball and he has catch and shoots and stuff like that, because then that also will create 2-on-3s on the other side and things like that. So, or 3-on-4, sorry. So that's how, instead of having Trey literally is just constantly moving, if that attention is over there on the other side where he's running his off ball stuff, it opens up the other side. And I mean, kind of like to what Coach Bud used to do, which was nice offense to see, right? It was a great offense to watch. So trying to combine that system with a superstar, what was our team lacking back then? A guy you could give the ball to in the fourth quarter and say, yo, go get us that bucket, right? We had it with Joe Johnson, but no offensive system. Then we had the system, but no Joe Johnson. And now we got Trey and hopefully a system, right? And so that's where you project it, and that's where you see he'll grow, right? Because he has a guy that can help him grow. In terms of the weak-ass East, that's what made me be like, man, we could have made a run this year. The East is not that strong. Milwaukee, unstable. Because, I feel bad for Giannis. They say this guy has the smallest bag in the world. And it was just a clip of him just like dribbling back and forth at the free throw line, for 5 seconds. And then he backed up and then just started attacking the basket because he's just like a freak, right? So I mean, they're susceptible. Boston, I think, is super susceptible. I mean,
Boston is weird. That is a weird team. Because they
are, man.
Because I totally agree with you that they're susceptible. I was thinking that the Hawks could really, I mean, they won in Boston. The Hawks won in Boston. And I guess so. They probably lost in Atlanta, but I don't remember how that game went.
Defense. This is what I told you. Our defense, man. You got to be able to make at least a handful of stops at the end of games. You don't have to stop them every time, but make some stops. Boston was going on some crazy shooting streaks, man. So that goes to getting somebody else. We need somebody else. We need it. I'm not a fan of DeAndre Hunter. He's a nice player, right? But he is what he is. He came into the league as a four-year player in college. He's a lot older than people think. He's not going to change. I mean, he's going to have games where he's going to go off and shoot for you, but I not consistent enough to pay him. I think it was like $90 million, $100 million contract. I mean, he deserves it, but not on my team. You know what I mean? So getting rid of DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, love that guy, man. He is the heart and soul of our team. But with Jalen Johnson coming up and just the contract, and I think he just needs a break, man. Poor guy. Like, this is the first year I've seen, I think, the toll of all this BS of trading him and he's not, being used correctly. I think it took a toll on him, man, because you don't show 9 years of consistent basketball play in the NBA and just drop off because you suck. No, that barely happens. And John's game isn't that bad. He can shoot the ball, right? And so I think a lot of the people on the team, mentals were just off. There was no consistency. There was no, if you have two Holiday brothers playing, not just on your team, getting consistent play, you're fucked, man. Like, that was the most annoying thing in the world, dude. They were playing the Holiday Bros instead of Jalen Johnson beginning of the year and figuring out a way to get Jalen on the floor. And it was just so annoying. And that was when I was like, I had to stop watching, man. I was just keeping up like on the scores, but it was really, really tough to watch, man. It's just like, you have no, so we need to get rid of those. And then Capella, love that guy. Great. He was a great serviceable center. But when you're going up against the Embiids, you need some more strength. He did out-rebound Miami Heat, like, single-handedly. But that was because they kind of had Bam playing out a little bit. And so there was kind of like a little bit of the strategy that they had. But you need to upgrade there. Okongwu needs to take a big step up. He's bigger. A couple years ago, playing against Philadelphia, he held his own against Embiid. He's a strong player. So I think he can play big, but he needs to develop. And so hopeful for him to kind of step up. So getting rid of Capella, JC, DeAndre, packing them up.
So what I'm hearing,
Blow it up.
Shout out to our boy Prince. Hope he's listening. It sounds like you're advocating for blowing it up.
Would
that be correct? I mean, bro, you just named two starters. You named 3 players getting off the team, and all we got is hope and development for the rest, including Trae Young.
No. When I say this, that means to go from just second round decent team to, like, you want to go be like a legitimate title contender. You're not going to do it with this roster. But that doesn't mean blowing it up. That just means improving your roster. That doesn't mean blowing it up.
Yeah, okay, I feel you on that.
Like, getting rid of, like,
yeah,
like, it's not a blow. Blowing it up means getting rid of Trae.
Okay. Yeah, and a new strategy, a new
right.
overall.
There's going to be a new face. The face doesn't change. It's still going to be Trae. You know what I mean? When they start showing Trae's face on losing graphics, like, oh, we lost tonight, and Trae's in the background, that's when you know that we've gone a different way.
Yeah. We will be checking in on you for that podcast. Yes. Knock on wood. I hope
look, if they get rid of him,
things.
All that being said, I like the way DJ plays. Like, if they want to do it to where let's get rid of Trae and have DJ run this team with this talent we have with Snyder and the developments, I'm with it.
Try to rebuild.
Yeah, man, I've learned not to get caught up in, oh man, we're never, like, it would suck. I mean, from what I was saying earlier, like, about Trae being the best we've had in a long time, it's not gonna be end of the world, right? Because the organization's got to be right. Your culture's got to be right. I mean, look at Miami. I hate them. Just because I listen to Dan Le Batard show and they're so annoying, right? Like, oh my god!
And when they're successful, it's even worse. I feel,
but you respect it, right? It's like they only have no talent, and they're out there scheming. So it makes you hopeful for, like, all right, if we get the right guy in, we get young talent in with the big. I think Trae's a good leader. I think media doesn't know what they're talking about. I mean, for how long they're saying Trae and John Collins were beefing. Man, they're like good friends, and to this day they are. I mean, they even came out after Nate left and was like, "Yeah, there's no problem with us. Like, we love each other." Like, I mean, they flat out addressed it. So that may be kind of this. That may be concerning because why are you addressing it if it really is cool? You know, like I don't know, but no, I think the team will be fine. I think the biggest problem was the coach, and he's gone now. And now we can actually be truly hopeful. There was no hope with Nate. I think that's the biggest key. There was zero hope for Nate. If Nate was still here, Trey would be gone for sure. Everybody would be gone. I wouldn't want to be here. I'm gonna move cities if Nate was still here.
Sheesh.
I feel you, man. Did you have some other Hawks before I had a
why did the Hawks not land Kevin Durant? I said it on the last podcast, and it should have happened. He was. I mean, I was like trying to predict that it would happen because it was clear that he wanted to leave. I think we recorded the podcast after he started trying to get up out of Brooklyn. But I'm just like, why not Atlanta? I mean, he said, "Oh, Suns," but I guess because the Suns went to the finals, he thinks it's a super team. Also, fuck Kevin Durant. Anyway,
they gave up a lot. They gave up a lot. Brooklyn did. I mean, Phoenix did to get him. They gave up all the guys they needed to be around Durant to win. They gave up Bridges. They gave up Johnson. They gave up first round picks. I mean, they gave up a lot, and I think that's what the Hawks didn't want to do. That's
bruh. You just named a whole bunch of people that could have got given up for Kevin Durant, man. I'm just like, man, you gotta go and strike for the free agent. And I understand, a guy like Anthony Davis has a relationship with LeBron, and that's just what was going to happen. He was going to go to Los Angeles no matter what. But I feel like the way it's a market, it's a free market, and you land people that like your package, and there's also the challenge of. There's some people who are are probably going to leave. We can probably talk about Jaylen Brown. So you trade for them. So that's also part of the free agent market. But I just feel like
was the coach at the time, bro. Nate was our coach.
All right.
You really are underestimating. Like if Snyder was our coach, then I'm telling you, we'd maybe have double chance of getting Kevin Durant. Nate is literally
hey, double zero is still zero. I'm gonna just say that.
Like I'm telling you, like I mean, hey, it was 0.1 in my eyes, so we were going to 0.2.
We were at 2. Okay, I feel you.
But like it's I'm telling you, man, Nate was such a buzzkill, dude. Like the worst, man, the worst. There was like rumors about like maybe Embiid getting here, and then after he performed this way, I was like, I don't know, man, maybe he can stay over there.
Well, let's talk about
Philly might be more cursed than Atlanta.
I know, right?
Let's talk about Jaylen Brown. I actually didn't know that he went to school in Georgia, somewhere in Cobb County. Yeah. I think he went to high school. So the return home thing is, it's a pretty compelling thing for a lot of players, it appears. But I just looked it up. He's a free agent after next season, unrestricted free agent. Parodies, I think you mentioned something to me about him wanting to come to Atlanta. I don't know much about that, so you can school us on that. But there's also the other factor. We'll see how the playoffs play out.
There's one other fact about Jaylen Brown that I also want to mention, and I guess this is no longer the case, but this man's agency was Donda Sports.
Yeah.
He had this fucking guy, Antonio Brown, the CEO of Donda Sports, making life decisions for his ass.
My friend
what
Jonathan,
kind of decision making is that for him?
My friend Jonathan just told me about that this past weekend. I wasn't aware, but that shit's crazy, bruh. That shit's crazy.
Bro, let me tell you something, man. I have a friend that had to basically interact with AB via like phone, like text messaging back and forth over like a business deal. And man, that guy, he's not all there, bro. Like literally like cussing you out one day and then the next morning, like, what's up, bro? and then that guy is a whole nother story, man. Like AD.
Yeah, I imagine
what's up with ABs, man? Antonio Brown, Adrian Bronner. Like, what's up with these guys, man? Those are cursed initials, man.
Both of them dudes have endured brain damage.
for sure.
So that Vontez Burfict hit, man, is like, you go back and look at it. It's like, I don't know much about brain damage and traumatic brain injuries, but it's not unreasonable to think that could have changed his life. That one hit could have changed his life, and then obviously all the other hits that he's taken, but that hit was crazy.
They say CTE is really prevalent in over people that take short hits over long periods of time.
Yeah,
So I think
linemen.
those like linemen and linebackers and running backs, I think those guys get the worst of it. But I think what you said, that was such an extreme hit that one was crazy. But I think with Jalen, I think he just wants out of Boston, man. You know very well about Boston, Tunde. Like, it's cool, but like,
It's not that cool.
Yeah,
And he doesn't.
It's not
I
Atlanta.
feel like he doesn't
That's for
want to
sure.
be the number 2 guy.
I say sometimes that he should be the number 1 guy, and I think, I don't recall the finals in great detail, but I do recall saying that he should have been the guy to take over. I think JT had, like, he was up and down, just like he's been this playoffs. Had some good games, then he has some trash games. Then he puts up 51. You know, it's like, I think if he had like the most turnovers in like the finals history, Jason Tatum. So, but I also think he had like a 50-point game or some shit. So I was like, maybe Jaylen Brown should be the guy. Maybe he should be maybe he thinks that. Maybe he's like, look, this dude Jason Tatum can't really hang with me. Jaylen Brown, he could put up 50. Like,
but his handle's not that good, man. That's the problem. And I'm not saying that like in a hater way. He has a tendency to like, it's this weird, it's like a football player playing basketball and they lose the dribble sometimes when they're trying to make a drive and like it'll get caught up in their legs and then the ball's gone. I don't know. Maybe it's just I've seen it so many times with him that I think that's what he does all the time. But I think his handling is the problem, right? He doesn't have a good handle to where you need a true point guard next to him.
Like Trae Young?
So I think that may be it. So I think he'd be better suited next to Trae. I don't know if he's a true number 1 though. I think he's like what he is now. I think the problem with Boston is they don't have enough talent. You're relying on Al Horford, man. Come on, man.
Yo, they love Al Horford up here, man.
Fuck Al Horford, man. Fuck him and his daddy. Talking shit about the
God damn.
Atlanta. Man, he gonna get traded in the first thing. Yeah, here's what happened with Al Horford, man. For people who don't know, he left Atlanta, right? And then the second he left, his dad started talking shit like, oh, great to be in a city with great fans, blah, 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 man. Fuck off, man. What'd you do with Al Horford in Boston being one of the main guys? Y'all ain't do shit. Now he's back as a minimum wage player, as a fucking old man when has zero expectation of him. And when you make 3 3-pointers, they're like, oh, wow, Al Horford game. Fuck off, Al Horford. You fucking bitch.
That's exactly right, bro. That's so well put. Perfectly well put. 100% agree.
I ain't know it was like that.
Yeah, man. Fuck him. And I was actually saying we should sign him because he ages well as a player, but fuck you, man.
Well, I suppose a lot of it does depend on what happens with the playoffs this season. Boston still has a chance. You know, I suppose they say don't bet against Jimmy Butler, but, you know, we'll see.
Bro, we just watched that Nuggets-Lakers game yesterday. I think
wild.
the Nuggets might fuck around and just dominate. They still have flaws, for sure. I know we want to stay mainly Atlanta sports focused, but
their bench.
Yeah.
Bruh,
yeah, the bench is their liability for sure.
Yeah.
The Boston fans will be so pissed if they make it back to the finals and don't win. They will.
That would be wonderful.
And you know, you
burn
guys,
the city down, except for Tunde's apartment.
You guys probably hear like the racism stuff. I don't know. I haven't been to that many games. I've been to a bunch of Red Sox games, but I've never been to a Celtics game. So perhaps, but the fans in general are really some fucking assholes. Like, you know, just kind of if you go to a bar and you watch a game with them, they're loud as fuck and they hate everything, but they also love it when they win. It's just like annoying.
They're involved.
Man, you can be involved and enjoy the game and not disrupt everyone else's fucking, you know.
Not the way they do it. Same thing with the Knicks fans, which
but
glad to see that they got bounced out.
Boston has this like self-perpetuating self-hate, man. They're a weird group of people up there, bro.
I would agree.
But I'll say this much. I've been to a game in Boston and I had a Hawks jersey on and we were playing them. They were nice. They didn't say, but I am a little paler. So, I don't know.
Might be different. I feel you.
But in terms of
Appreciate
the
the
sport,
caveat.
the sports shit talking, they were chill. They're actually pretty cool talking to us just in general, talking about basketball. So but I understand what Tunde is saying. They have this like Boston Sports Radio, they say is the best thing to listen to after they lose.
Oh
Because
god,
they
that's
come in
hilarious.
and they're just like with their accents, like trade them all, like get them all. Where's the car? Like
Bro, I went to a Patriots game the first season that number 10, the quarterback, I don't remember his name right now, for the Patriots.
Mac Jones.
Yeah, Mac Jones. His first season playing, I went to a Patriots game with a friend who was a Tennessee Titans fan, and he was wearing some Tennessee Titans gear. And so we went down, to the concessions to get beer or whatever. And we run into a Patriots fan, and a Patriots fan looks at his jersey and he's like, "Hey, fuck you." And I was like, whoa. And then he just walked away. I'm like, bruh, just like that. Like, this is what I'm telling you, man. Like, at least we were also like in like pretty high nosebleed seats. So maybe the higher you go up, the more like fucking, wild they get.
That was nice though. I think that's comforting. That's an acknowledgement. That's like, hey, I see you, bro.
Facts. That's
and
true.
here's a nice little fuck you.
He should have said "fuck you" too and been about his day.
Yeah,
Yep,
like
all right. There you go.
Like, fuck you too, man.
My friend might have said that. He might have said something of that nature, but I mean, you're just walking around saying "fuck you" to the opposition just off the willy nilly like that.
Hey, I have homies that do it here, man. So I can't even say nothing, bro.
Yo, so for the listeners, Tunde got me this T-shirt that says Belichick on it. It has like Bill Belichick with like binoculars and fucking video camera. It's just a meme shirt or whatever.
A deflated football.
Yes, and a deflated football. Exactly. How many times have you worn that shirt in Boston, bruh? 0 for the listeners. He is holding up a big fat goose egg.
I will never wear that shirt in Boston.
You get your ass whooped.
Yeah, well, I'm not trying to find out. But every time I come to Atlanta, I pack it and I wear it.
Love it.
Because I know y'all feel me.
Yup.
Man. You should do it. If somebody punches you, sue their ass, bro.
Yeah,
Could do that.
There,
because just walk. That's a well worth it punch, man. Just make sure somebody's recorded and get good picture of the dude's face.
I need to get me like a drone to follow me.
Get a lawyer.
Yep.
But on some real shit though, how have we not like? How has there not been more retribution for Belichick? This dude has been caught for cheating in so many ways, and you can say all the stuff you want about, like, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Why is he getting caught? That if he's not going to be excoriated for cheating, if he's not going to be reprimanded for cheating, then we should reprimand him for getting caught cheating. But I'm just saying, like, the historical book, and hopefully when he retires, I was hoping after Brady leaves Boston, there would be like some intern somewhere who's going to whistle blow and talk about all the real cheating that was going on, especially for Brady. Yeah, well, maybe, hopefully, especially, I need someone to make the 2017 Super Bowl right for me and for us and tell us that there was some sort of shenanigans going on. I'm still waiting for that shit, but Belichick, I think it's been sort of like, I think there's like plenty of information and data to implicate him and not give him as much credibility as perhaps the media wants to.
Man,
bro, this shit is just like, was it? It wasn't Deflategate. What was the issue where they had the tapes in the NFL? I don't remember who the commissioner was at the time. He lit them on fire and like burned the shit. Yeah, Spygate. Yeah,
bro, they had a second Spygate with the Bengals after Deflategate. Like, this is how much cheating that y'all don't remember that one?
Look, bro,
I don't. It's been so many.
Look, bro, you're not used to gated communities, bro. All right, that's all it is. This is a well-kept community, okay? And you just sound like a loser, Tunde. I mean, I hate. You just sound real sour, bro. I just want to be honest, man. Unbiased. I mean, the more we talk about it, the more credibility he has. The less you talk about it, the more he withers away. You know what I mean?
That's also
you gotta let
facts.
that Tampa Bay Super Bowl speak for it.
Yeah, other victories will erase those painful ones.
He won 6 Super Bowls. people are gonna call this man the greatest coach ever, forever.
He is though, man. He is.
What?
He's a pretty good
He
coach.
is, man. He's good.
Yeah. My God.
He has schemed his way, bro. Those first couple Super Bowls by Brady, he was trash. His numbers were garbage. He was just a game manager. Belichick had the scheme, identified the players, running the ball. Great. They had great defenses. Can't even lie. I mean, defense wins championships. Man. We fucking forget that. Yeah, Brady has the rings or whatever, but like, that was Belichick doing all that shit.
It never occurred to you guys that their defense was on point because they had tape?
Yeah, that's also facts. That's 100% true too. But guess what? The fucking Astros that were cheating as well, they still kept those rings. In the history books, it still says the Astros won. Look, what year was that? 2018, 2019? They still won that World Series. All of these championships, everything, no matter. I mean, they even have tried to take like Lance Armstrong or whatever, his Tour de France shits. We still know this nigga Lance Armstrong. I don't know who the number 27 was after they canceled out everybody else that was doping in that shit. All that matters is he won. And we know his name. He still got the Nike deals. He was still in private jets for at least 20 plus years of his life. Sure, he might be down a little bit bad now, but he lived the dream. Did he not?
Yep.
Tom Brady, if you're listening, release the tapes.
Which you are. We know you are. Tom. God damn it, Thomas.
Release the information. We'll protect you, Tom, if you decide to whistleblow. We know. We just need you to confirm for us. Anyway, we're on the football topic. I know there was some Falcons discussion that was to be had. So, Herschel?
Yes, I'm excited to get into this. So we had the draft in April. It's about a month past that, maybe three weeks past that now. So we've had time to let shit sit in, but not enough time that fucking training camp and, they haven't played a fucking down yet. But I'm not even going to lie to you. At first, I was questionable about the Falcons' first pick. Bijan Robinson, you're taking a running back early. Never really kind of like that. But I'm a fan. I went straight to YouTube. I watched all of his highlights. And I'm a firm believer that we're going to win the Super Bowl. He can't be tackled. He can't be stopped. I saw him play against Alabama, and they were stopping him a couple times, and then he was still breaking out running. I was like, oh shit, this is it. We better have Parodies. I want to get your takes on Bijan, and then I want to hear what you think about the whole offensive scheme now.
All right. So the only person I wish they would have got instead of him was Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the only. Outside of that, I'm totally down with it. And even with Jalen Carter, I mean, looks like they've made some moves. They have Bud Dupree come, Calais Campbell. They have Grady.
Yep. I've liked the new front office.
And and they have the dude from Penn State, and they have Carter. So they have some little better pass rush now. So, and you give Arthur Smith this like Swiss Army knife of a running back. And so now you put Cordell maybe a little bit more in the slot or out wide, or I don't know.
Or Bijan in the slot. He catches passes too.
Or I was gonna say maybe want Pitts in the slot. That's where he's good to operate out of, right? And so because now you have Jonnu, so now you can have Jonnu be the blocking tight end that can still catch the ball, right? So this offense looks a lot more versatile than it did last year in terms of what it can do, and it fits Arthur Smith's style more, right? Because you're gonna have that running back that can be a beast, his mini Derrick Henry, right? I think it just all comes down to getting another year of good offensive line play. Last year, they're able to run the ball, and that helps out your offensive line. When you don't pass as much, it's like a mindset, right? You're on the attack compared to backstepping from the get-go and just trying to protect. When you're out there as a lineman and you're trying to just go out there and take heads off, it's a different mentality and it's a better toughness, right? So you have that. So you have Drake London, Pitts, a potential Corey Davis down the pipeline if he comes free. You have
we still have our rookie from last year,
Drake London.
Algier.
And then you have Algier, Patterson. You have Bijan.
And the fourth dude. We had a fourth running back, like number 42 or something. I can't even remember that guy's name, but he got me some fantasy points.
Hurley, Brett Hundley, Hurley.
Yes.
No, something like that.
I don't know. The fans will look it up. Y'all, listeners.
He got hurt, poor guy.
You know.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Yeah.
No, I think they're gonna look good. I think I think
Can
what they've
Desmond
done-
Ritter make a, not that I need him to make a
There you
huge
go.
step, but like, and you said it, you hit the nail on the head talking about Arthur Smith's play style: run first, protect the football, hold the time of possession, let the defense rest, da 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 da. But when we need it, can Desmond Ritter make a couple throws? That's all I really need. So what do you think?
man. So I don't understand the Ritter hate, man. Like,
Well,
I understand
I haven't seen him
Lamar
do
was
anything.
out there. No, not from you. My bad. Not from you. They're like all these like when Lamar was out there and everybody was talking about that, and they were like literally just saying like they don't have a quarterback. I get it. He's not Lamar Jackson, right? But I mean, if you're watching the Falcons last year, 2 games he was taking us for game-winning drives, fumbles, fuck that up. That's not his fault, right? Now that you have this proper offense around him, it gives him the best chance to succeed. So now you can truly be like, all right, man, are you worth it then? Because it's not all on your shoulders. We just need you to hit some play actions, hit some third downs, don't turn over the ball, and make some plays with your feet, right? Like that's literally what is going to be asked of him. And if he's able to do that, he's earned the chance to start because you want to be able to have a rookie contract and free up your cap space. But then if not, you've given him a year with true support, everything that he needs to succeed, and you have a proper year of seeing, okay, he's not the guy. This free agency class, I'm sure you can get somebody. I mean, you're going to have the cap space. There's going to be another disgruntled quarterback out there.
Maybe Lamar.
Well,
I guess
he's re-signed
they have
now.
his contract.
Yeah, he's there. And so that was a whole weird situation. Was he like there's no need for collusion in that situation in my opinion, because it's in the business owner's best interest not to give him that much guaranteed money. I mean, what the Browns did, they're idiots. You know what I mean? Like to give that much guaranteed money. So that I think is an outlier. So I think that threw off everything. And I think they knew that eventually he was going to go back there. So they weren't even wasting their time. I mean, I think Lamar wanted to go back there the entire time. I mean, they're signing OBJ. OBJ wouldn't go back there if he would be partying with him, the signing, if he wasn't going to. I mean, I don't know. There were just a lot of things that maybe us as normal people didn't have an idea what's going on, and fuck ass media is just telling us one thing, trying to create,
of course,
views for stuff. So,
and we're trying to do that shit too.
No, I'm just playing.
Look at it real
talk
man.
out here.
We're gonna do with the truth.
This is beyond the headlines, man.
Yeah, in case you didn't hear earlier, we only play saying fuck Al Horford and his daddy. Where you gonna find that, man?
Exactly. Nah, I feel you, man. So yeah, if they can just, pretty much use those weapons you noted, slow the offense down, I think Desmond Ritter can get it done. But just like you, I've heard, the criticism, the questions. I don't think he had enough time. I think there were more games that Mariota stayed in last season that had they decided to make a change earlier, what did we have, 6 or 7 wins last season when we really should not have had that? I think we could have even, potentially made a playoff run just to give him experience. I didn't have any hopes. There was no expectations on the season. And even this upcoming season, I think expectations are there, but they're still relatively low, which I think is a safe place for Desmond Ritter to continue to develop, get the offense going, figure it out. Same thing with the young coach in Arthur Smith, a young general manager in Terry Fontenot. I like this guy. He came out of the Saints, and I happen to have to root for this fucking guy. I'm like, damn, all right, you doing a good job over here, huh? Okay. But, I'm excited. I'm excited for this season. We still got some time off. But, any other Falcons takes?
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously, a lot of it comes down to the division. Where, like, you can be kind of a mediocre quarterback, but you got a solid team, get a few touchdowns, don't throw interceptions, and just if your division is open, you got a chance. And the NFC South is pretty open. I just looked up the quarterbacks. I wasn't, I don't follow it, the free agency stuff or the draft quite as closely, but so you have a new quarterback, a rookie quarterback with the Panthers. You have Derek Carr first year.
Will Levis, who did they get?
Bryce Young, I think.
They got Bryce Young. Okay, yeah.
You have Derek Carr first time in New Orleans, and Tom Brady left Tampa. So it's kind of a wide open division. I don't know what the defense is looking like, So we have, Number 8, the tight end who I forget the name of. I'm forgetting everybody's name today. What's his name?
Yeah, Kyle Pitts, man. We know you're a Patriots fan, man. That's why you go so hard against Tom Brady and Belichick, because you're trying to cover up, man. You know?
Yep, false flag operation out here.
You know?
Yep.
You know what?
I'm an academic. I'm an academia. I'm in Boston, academia.
Just because you said that, I'm gonna wear the shirt. I'm gonna wear it tomorrow. And I don't
man, don't get shot.
You're gonna see Tunde on the news, bro.
Yeah,
I
man.
want to see that, bro. At least make sure you record it.
We told him he shouldn't have worn a shot. We told him.
I'm gonna have to wear it one day, man, just to show y'all I'm really about that Falcons life. I will
the airport. I think that's the best, safest spot, because nobody's gonna fuck up their vacation to mess with you, but they gotta witness it, right? So I think the airport's your best spot.
Only thing about the airport is that a lot of people there might not really give a fuck because they might not be from Boston or Patriots fans. So, but that's a good testing ground. It's a good testing ground.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm with the Falcons. The Hawks, I'm not officially like fully on board. Like LeBron is my guy. That's where I go. Wherever he goes is where I go. But I'm with the Hawks. I mean, with the Falcons. Anyway, so yeah, division was good.
He said it.
He said it.
Man,
It's too late.
all these slips, man. All these slips,
Yep.
man. I'll email the Hawks and let them know you're not on board yet. Okay, they're waiting for an update,
Bro, I was texting you, P. And, I was like, with it, bro. I was like, yo, we got a chance to upset these fools, and they broke my heart, man. And
I tell you,
I suspect that's what is normally like with them, with the Hawks. So
yeah, I was giving you play by play before it happened, man. I even text you the next day to check up on you.
Shit, man. So yeah, man. I mean, like Herschel, I know you probably have thought about this. P, I'm definitely curious to hear what you think. Is the division open?
Yeah,
I definitely agree. Parody said it. The division is weak right now. I never believe in the Saints. You can't believe in the Saints. Pack of cheaters, just like the Patriots. Bountygate. Their owner supports pedophilia and shit like that.
Yes,
they have a lot of toxicity. Yeah, fuck them. That's right. Them and Al Horford and his daddy, all three.
Hell yeah.
Benson, whatever that lady's name is. The Bucks, I still am afraid that the ghost of Tom Brady is going to come back and quarterback that team, and just because he almost made the playoffs and fucking multiple times. He's almost gone back to the Super Bowl. Fucking thank God for Matthew Stafford ending that shit on a final play, and then whatever the fuck happened last season. Because I mean, he's been a lot closer than I thought. But for Carolina, we'll see. I hope just like we hoped that Cam would have some success as a young black quarterback in the league. I hope Bryce Young does it big, but not against us.
No, man, fuck that. No, I don't care, man. This is where I'm going to draw the line, man.
Yeah, battle lines. Okay.
Yeah, man. Man. I'm kidding. I hope he succeeds, just not enough to make a difference against us.
Yes.
But with the Falcons, man, I think the thing with Mariota was last year is that because we had no expectations and we were winning games out of nowhere, they're like, oh, well, if we're winning with Mariota, let's wait till like the worst case possible to sub him out. And then when he was throwing balls off his back, that's when they're like, all right, man, let's put in this other guy, because we were winning with Mariota. So then if you put in Ritter and Ritter isn't winning games, and it may not be his fault, right? And it just ruins his whole prospects in the future, right? Because now his whole thing is, oh man, he's losing games for us, blah, blah, blah. Mariota was winning for us. Why did they take him out? And so that's probably the main reason why. But man, he's a bitch too, Mariota.
Do you have a backstory on him, or he's just a bitch?
Yeah, how is he gonna now that he's not a starter, have a knee issue he needs to go have a procedure on and then not be with the team?
They're trying
come on, man.
He's trying to finesse so they can't cut him while he's injured. Yeah, that's some shit. Yeah, man. That's definitely some shit right there.
Yeah, he owes Cordell Patterson some money, man. He owes Algier some money. I mean, Kyle Pitts, literally, there's a highlight of him literally overthrowing him by
he caused that injury to Kyle Pitts as well.
Times, man.
He had it was a throw behind him and he had to readjust, and that's when he fucked up his knee. If you rewatch the play, it's like, yo, this was Mariota's fault, 100%.
Yeah,
So
man.
I feel
He's a
it.
Honda Civic ass motherfucker, man. He's
Hey man, I drive a Honda Civic, but I feel you. I feel
not.
Yes,
man,
very much
When you with a bunch of Ferraris, man, you know, Kyle
Right.
Pitts is a Ferrari, man.
That's fact.
You can't be
That's
out
facts.
here with a, you know. I'm
Man,
a Toyota
man,
guy,
they're
so I'm not over
changing
here like.
Right. Yeah, we're working on the Lambos, man. It's
Yeah,
ordered.
you know.
It's ordered.
Man, that draft, Mariota and Jameis Winston was like, they were so hype coming into the league, both Heisman Trophy winners, and woo, both of them just had nothing really going in their careers. But not busts. You know, Jameis has thrown a lot of touchdowns and interceptions
to other
and
teams.
Yeah, facts.
Mariota, you know, he had some time in Tennessee, and then he had a
He was
couple
with the
games.
Raiders for a minute.
Yeah, with the Raiders, and you know, so but yeah, the hype man was
But
real
you're-
back then.
A bunch of places where they were losing. This is where Mariota was.
Facts. Again, facts. Get them up out of here. But yeah,
Well-
I think we're moving forward. So I'm excited for the future.
Marcus.
So I think, you know, we could wrap up with the couple, you know, hot topics. Herschel, did you want to talk about UGA? I know that's not really ATOP's vibe, but
They were very much heavily featured in the draft. So it's a lot more UGA guys in the league. Wait, who do you support? Anybody in college parodies?
Nah, man. I'm at a
Okay.
college. I'm a Georgia. I root for Georgia State, man. You know, so
Okay, excellent. Yeah, we can ride with that. But yeah, I didn't have too much on UGA. Obviously, they repeated. They might fucking do it again because they just got the talent. But that's pretty much all I got to say. I mean, they're fucking creating monsters down there that are going to the league. I think fucking
man.
80% of the starting defense got drafted high. So, I mean, I'm excited to see that. And low key, I think 8 of them motherfuckers went to the Eagles. And I think the Eagles might repeat. That's really what I want to say.
yeah, man.
Or not even repeat, but like go back to the Super Bowl at the very least. I know they didn't win because Mahomes is the god. But
yeah. I will say
think-
about
Go ahead.
I will say about UGA, like, I'm not really out here supporting UGA. It's cool to see them win, but you know, we're starting to have championships come to Georgia. You know, you got the Braves, you got UGA 2 times, so I feel like you got to just kind of have that culture, and then next thing you know,
I do
boom,
like that energy.
the Falcons out here. You know, boom, Hawks. You know what I'm saying?
If only it worked like that. If only it worked like that.
At Atlanta United, they were the first one actually
Yep.
to win to bring a
True.
championship. So you know, maybe we got a little situation going on. You know,
Man, I think it's anytime I start rooting for a team is when they start winning, man.
All right, well, you know what you got to do, bro. You got to. I see you already started with the Supersonics hat. So
Hey, that's the first
progress.
step. You know what
Yep.
I mean? I'm about to be Tunde out here.
Oh
Yo.
yeah, I feel it.
Fake hating teams.
LeBron, man, that's how I roll. When LeBron
but-
retires, I might slide with the Hawks. We'll see.
Man, get out of here, Southern Cal. There's this guy, not this guy, Jalen Carter. How fucking much of a nuisance was he at UGA where all his coaches were talking that much shit about him when he was leaving? Like, what did he do? I mean, I get he got in that car wreck, and I mean that goes without saying, but there's been other prospects that have had that happen, and you know, I don't even think that was the case. People were willing to overlook that, I think, because I think the coaches were just talking
smearing
so
his
much shit
character
about him.
after the fact. Even though, I mean,
how
because
bad
obviously,
can he be?
right? Because obviously, sports over any other industry is a meritocracy where, like, yo, if you can perform, even if you're an asshole and a shitty person or whatever, if you can get to that motherfucking quarterback through a 300-pound motherfucker, okay, yeah, we'll fuck with you. So, I don't know. I haven't seen all of the reports, and we really won't know until like the rest of this dude's life plays out and other shit happens. It's not fair to him. That's kind of the thing. But it does suck to have so many people kind of talking bad about you after you've left a place, and then still, he is succeeding. He was drafted really high, and I expect him to, be able to continue to fuck people up in the NFL. I don't think that'll stop at all. So, he may have a long career. We'll see how he does on and off the field. But, Deion Sanders has actually spoken of this, but like when you're looking for D linemen, you want a menace to society because that helps. That aggression, translates to the field. We know what Ndamukong Suh was doing out there, stomping on people's ankles and acting a fool and all kinds of nonsense. So, maybe it comes with the territory. I feel like he could also still be a nice guy like Michael Strahan or something like that, but I don't know. I don't think we'll know. And it's just not fair that these dudes that are in like leadership positions over him, I don't know if they didn't like that he was getting NIL deals because he was having, more millions than they were just from, making sacks on the field. But yeah, man, I'm down with some hateration, holleration, but sometimes I don't like it in certain power dynamics.
Man, I think these dudes are just too big for like the position that they're in. Like this dude is in Athens, Georgia, probably has the whole city on lock in terms of like drinks, going out to the bars, talking to whatever lady he wants to. And then you throw in the NIL thing. These coaches, like guys who have played high school sports, particularly football, all three of us, like the coaches think that they're running some kind of fiefdom. Like they have you just under their thumb and they can do whatever they want with you, run 35 laps, do it now, or else you can get off the team, And I think that mentality probably extends to college football. There's probably still a lot of dudes who are really just trying to make it. There's only a handful of Jalen Carters who are really dominant and have the whole like sport in the palm of their hands, to so to speak. I think he might be like a little bit of a outspoken, flashy guy. Obviously, with the car crash, like I think it was like a street race or something. So clearly he was
that whole team. The whole team was wild. There was video of with cops that were pulling over his teammates and like for other things they were driving super fast.
Yep, saw that. Yep.
Yeah, he was like,
out.
"Oh, you got to tow so and so. Slow down." I pulled them over for doing something, and it's like I'm like, oh man. So man, look, man, that team, they get away with whatever over there.
I mean, listen, Urban Meyer showed you the blueprint, and Kirby Smart is just following that shit of like,
Literally.
you get these monsters out here, and you'll win some championships, and fuck the repercussions. Nobody is looking back. I mean, sure, we think Urban Meyer's a scumbag now, but he, again, just like fucking we were talking about Lance Armstrong and these other cheaters and shit like that, he skated for a good 15 years and won championships, multiple plural championships. And I mean, history is repeating itself. I don't like that it's, that quote unquote, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. If you ain't the most aggressive or toxic or, getting the dogs, they got that dog in them, then you're not, competing with everybody else. But if you try to do it the safe, smart way, there's no Tony Dungy's left. That doesn't succeed in 2023 in this society. In the internet age, you can't be a nice guy, or that nice a guy. I'll say it like that. We want people to be nice. We should be brotherly and friendly, neighborly, and shit like that. But it's war on that football field, and I do understand where when they're recruiting guys, they might be looking for people that are more like Ja than less like Ja. I'm gonna just say it like that.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about it. Parodies, just tell us what your thoughts are on Ja Morant. I mean, I feel like I don't even have to ask the question because there's so much that surrounds this story. But lay it on us, bro.
Look, he's young. Everybody wants him to succeed. I don't think it's like one of those AI situations where a lot of people were hating on him, saying like, "Oh, get this guy there." But he's gotten a lot of chances, man. And so, I mean, granted, he's not actually doing real damage to anybody, but it's more so like, do you understand how important you are to your ecosystem? Right? Like,
bro, he's fucking the money up. You can just say it. He's fucking the money up. You can't fuck the money up.
Like, bro, like be smarter than that. I mean, I get it. You can have a guy that's in the league that's about to go hunting and take a picture with their hunting rifle. Like I get it. There's all that going on, but there's context to it. Is this guy going around on loading dock areas pointing laser beams at other people, like trying to start
opposing
beefs?
team? Like,
starting beefs with.
Shannon Sharp. You're trying to fight Shannon Sharp in the fucking game.
Yeah, man.
I forgot
so
that
it's
happened.
just like so many things going on. Like his friend got banned from the team, like how much shit are you doing that you're the best friend of this superstar and they're not even letting you around? Like how much have you done? Right? Like it's mostly like John, his home, like it's his friends that are like going around doing a bunch of fuck shit because the whole Grizzlies team gets that whole reputation. But like, I mean, for the most part, like Desmond Bain isn't out there fucking around. Jaren Jackson Jr. is like, not out there doing crazy wild shit. Like
Dylan Brooks is gone.
Steven Adams, Dylan Brooks, but even he off court wasn't doing
Yep.
wild shit. You know what I mean? So, and then the whole shit with John, the teenager, like
Yeah.
punching a
Why
teenager.
are you
and
playing
pulling
against
the
high
gun
school
out on
kids
there?
at your house? Why are you fighting with them?
Well,
Why
that
are you
one,
getting the
they-
strap?
That's a community thing, right? He likes to invite, and he's done it in the past where up and coming like juniors, seniors in high school that are like about to blow up playing basketball. He'll invite them over for some run, which is cool. Like, I
Okay.
mean, that's a cool way to be connected with the community, so I'm not hating on that, but like if that's your intention, and even if this kid is bucking up on you and doing some wild shit, you should understand he's younger than you and he's maybe cocky, arrogant, feeling himself, whatever. You got to be the older guy in that situation and at least not pull a gun out on him,
Have
right?
some maturity.
And so I get where, I think he's well intentioned, and I just don't understand like where his head's at. I just don't get.
Well,
like,
let me jump in here. I've watched, the sportscasters and the YouTube videos and their commentary, and our official third co-host he's made some arguments in our group text, and I think we all are uncomfortable with this idea of fucking up the money. But honestly, who knows? Maybe he doesn't care about it. But the thing that he has sort of tried to communicate, if I can channel him for a second, he forgive me if I'm fucking your words up, but let's see if he actually even listens this far into the podcast. God damn it. Anyway, but I mean, shouldn't he be allowed to fuck around, do some fuck shit, like do hood rat shit with his hood rat friends? Like, can you not do that as a person who plays in the league?
Just don't do it on fucking IG Live.
Yeah, especially when you work for $1 billion corporation.
Okay. So then what's wrong with doing it on IG Live?
Because you're that stupid to publish the fuck that you're doing fuck shit.
Why?
Like, are you that stupid?
It's stupid because he could. Well, I guess he could lose his job. So, but why? Okay, so here's the
like
thing.
his shoe deal may be gone.
Well, why take away the shoe
It may
deal?
be he may be John done, like just one and done with his shoe line, like just
the job one and done.
yeah, man. Like,
but
like,
why should Nike take it
memes have
away?
been
Like, why are
hilarious.
they requiring this like pristine image? I mean, he's like, and there is a legitimate sort of question of
Dude,
like
this is
people who are gun enthusiasts who use it to
So-
enrich their lifestyle and their life experience. Like, why is this so bad for him or society to deal with?
So I feel you, and I think you are doing, salute to Ehi. I think you are doing a pretty good job of channeling his thoughts on this. But to me, it isn't that he's making a stand or doing anything that you could consider progressive or positive. It's not negative. It's not necessarily negative, except that the sponsors don't like it. And, you showed us that in the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement that the NBA signed, he included signing. It might have been decided before he was in the league. I really don't remember when the most recent CBA was signed or
I
whatever.
think 2017.
Okay, so
no
boom.
gunplay.
But
No
no
gunplay.
gunplay. You cannot do that. So
They can't do
you
shit.
have
They
one.
can't go skiing. Nothing. Can't play football, tennis.
Nothing dangerous. Yeah,
Yeah.
fireworks, all that. Yeah, which totally makes sense to me because again, you might, injure yourself or whatever. You might put yourself in a poor position and you fuck the money up. If he's injured or if somebody tries to come take something from him because it's almost a damn invitation because everybody sees you out here, acting like you're in the streets, whether you are in the streets or not. People know, okay, well, if I am going to run up on job, well, I got more guns than that. I can, that's kind of the mentality that I fear that people will have, and he is not making smart decisions there. And then on top of that, my concern with Ehi's argument, Ehi and you, tangentially, Tunde, your argument, I'm going to just yell at you about this shit because you're making it. He is not making a stand. This is not no Kaepernick situation where, lawyers are salivating at him being blackballed and, kicked out the league because he did something that, he protested. He's not protesting anything. He's just stepping in shit and snitching on himself by putting it on video with, or at the very least, him and his friends putting it on video and then putting it out. It's not, that somebody's following him around trying to catch him in the act with the strap. Like, that's kind of my issue with it.
Man, there's 5 points to this, all right? First point, it's repetitive. Ja doesn't fucking understand when to fucking chill out. Like, dude, like, what are you doing? All these instances happening, coming out, right? And don't forget, what's up with why is his mom calling? I get it. If you're disrespected as a mother, you want to feel protected, but don't call your son that you know is a hothead that's going to fuck up his like
$1 million deals.
$300 million bag. 2 separate occasions where his mom called them because somebody disrespected her out at the mall and at somewhere else. And then he pulls up with all his friends. Like, come on, man. Like, send your friends. You don't go. Like, send the president. You don't have to be there. Like, and so it leads to like the number 2 thing being context, right? All these things, repetitive context. I think that's the best way to put it. It's not just a standalone incident of him being out there with a gun. No, it's not like like a Paul Pierce incident, just on live, smoking blunts, having strippers and chilling, right? Like,
which he also got fired for. But
he got fired for that.
You understand? You can't do that.
And there was no gun.
You're not allowed.
Right? Yeah, like that. And Mickey Mouse is signing your check. You can't do that, right? You have to understand who's signing your check, right? And then he's not really about that life, bro. Like, if it was naturally he was that, like, that's how he was, okay, that's one thing. But he's not really from that life. He came from a good background. He's really
from Sumter,
reaching.
South Carolina.
Right. I mean, I'm sure every city has a bad and good side, right? I don't know much about Sumter, but the whole point is
quiet town. That's it.
Yeah. So it doesn't mean he's
probably
rich,
got a hood, but like you said.
Yeah, but he's not from a life of gang activity. Like his dad was a good role model in the sense of he brought him up through basketball, right? He got him to the NBA. Like there's some things that he didn't grow up in that lifestyle. So stop trying to act like you are, right? And then what's very ironic is that his Nike deal, he basically took Kyrie's spot. They dropped Kyrie and they started pushing him, and with the same type of model that Kyrie had, not that expensive of a shoe, where a lot of younger kids can get it, a lot of different colorways, a lot of different, customizations. And what did Kyrie do compared to what John's been doing? Right? Yeah. But at least Kyrie's was on something he felt was like honorable, where he was standing up for people that are free thinkers, whatever he believes that he was standing up for.
It's not oriented towards criminality, what Kyrie was doing. It's maybe immoral in some people's eyes, but it's not criminal. And Ja, his whole situation has been in the context of criminal behavior, at least what we think is criminal behavior. Anyway, good point.
Associated with criminality. I wouldn't say like having a gun and waving it around is criminal, but it's like, what persona are you trying to give off?
Right.
That's
good point.
The thing, right?
Good point. Yeah. Was that the 5th point?
Yeah, all of those are 5 points together. Yeah.
You just broke it down, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I like
it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Ja, I will say, so I would like to get the race side from you, Parodies. Like, I think Herschel's talked about it a little bit in the group text, but this is another thing that he brought up, which I ain't gonna lie, he convinced me a little bit on this one because, historically and even in the present, a black man with a gun is almost always, perceived, stigmatized as some kind of, we'll call it a thug, criminal something, but legitimately people, own guns for various different reasons, and flashing them, that's one thing, but there's nothing wrong with simply owning a gun. And, there's like the argument of like guys who go hunting and they take pictures, and he sent a picture of Chris Kaman holding 2 assault rifles. I don't know if that was in the NBA, but that was a wild pick, but you automatically think to yourself like, oh, he's just hunting, he's just fishing. With Ja, I don't know what he was doing, but the sort of context is like
was he about to slide on somebody? Yes, that's what we were all thinking, and it is racist to think that. I totally agree.
But is that an impulse? is that an impulse in American society that we're just like, oh, Ja's doing something wrong? You know, I look, don't you can't convince me otherwise. Ja is trying to gangbang adjacent. So that's my thought. But again, is that a racist impulse? Like, I don't know. That's what Ahi is sort of suggesting.
I mean, I get where he's going at, where he's like, I get it. Like, but like I said, there's context to it, right? Like, how many times was Chris Kaman in the headlines for, you know,
Yeah,
like, and I
he's
get
not
you,
a
like,
spokesperson for the league.
But
yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, that's why there's the context. Because if you have it as a standalone moment, of course, you can have all these points where they have some landing space, right? Where you can say, oh man, it's just because he's black that you guys are going so hard on him, which would be factual, right? Because then it's like, well, what's wrong with other people having guns? But there's just a lot of context to it. And literally 8 weeks after saying you went to rehab and figured this stuff out. And I think there's just a lot of context to it. And I think he just got to hold himself accountable, man. Like, just be like, look, man, like, all right, I got to just do better. People don't realize he's closer to that 17-year-old that he was wanting to fight than to grown men in the league, like age-wise. Like, he's closer to a high schooler and trying to look cool into the eyes of a high schooler than he is grown men. Because I'm sure I heard somebody talk that he talked to like an agent that has a lot of high profile athletes in the NBA, and they're just like, dude, what are you doing? You're fucking up the money. Like you're not, like they were mad at him for doing this stupidity, right? And you know, they were black as well. So I can see where somebody can go down that road, but I think it's a disservice to when it actually is truly a racial injustice that you try to throw it out now. Like, I think you should hold it to when it's 100%. Yeah, that's racial injustice, because then it's thrown out so often that it loses its meaning. So you want to be able to say, like, I think with Kyrie, you have more of a leeway for racism than I think that one, I don't know, man. Like, it's just like the thing with Ja, there's the context to it, and to where the way you talk about it leads to racism, right? But the outcome of the consequences isn't racist, because there's repetitive actions, repetitive missteps, all these things, right? And so the consequences aren't that bad. So I guess there could be racial thoughts, but there's going to be people have racial thoughts for everything. Like the way some people are set up, right? Some people are set up to look at everything a black person does as stupid. Like you can see a black person eat chicken and they'll go off the tangent and be like, oh my God, he loves chicken because he's black, right? Like any person could turn that into that argument. So that's why I want to be like, well, I think this is just Ja being dumb and not realizing he's fucking up his money with being so loosey-goosey with what he's putting out there, like, to the public, because you're trying to have little kids buy your shoes. So you want little kids waving the guns around too. That's the problem. And I think that's where, I don't know, man, I don't think it's racist, but I definitely see why people want to like make it about race, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And it just kind of ties into like the American society and history that we are continuing to experience, that, you know, I mean, you said it best, that like, you know, if you look hard enough, you can twist any situation, any comparison, any disciplinary, whatever, into a racial comparison. Jokic pushed an owner earlier in this playoff series and didn't get suspended. And in my head, I was like, well, imagine if that were Ja or anybody else. And it was also hilarious.
Amari Stoudemire got freaking suspended from the Spurs series back in the day because he stepped on a court when there was a fight. Not even because he fought somebody. He was sitting on the bench, stepped on the court when Steve Nash got bulldozed by Robert Horry, and he got suspended for a game. So I hear you. And that's where you're like, that's where I think you apply the racial bias, because that's like, what's the difference? Literally, this guy was literally not even fighting anybody. He stepped onto the court. He's suspended in a very crucial game 6 or 7 of a very important series. And this was a round 2 game. And he literally pushed a fan, whether it was an owner or not. He still pushed an attendant of the game. So I think one, you definitely have more grounds for like, yeah, man, I think that's just them not taking it as serious because Jokic is white, you know, like simply put.
Well, I mean, all situations are complex, and I guess you have to be, I guess, a little flexible about how you apply the sort of race lens, you know. Because I was thinking, like, with Jokic, I agree with you guys, but also maybe the owner himself, like, went to the NBA and said, if you suspend Jokic, we will be very upset, or some shit, like somehow pulled a string because, you know, he's the owner, and it's better for his brand, his franchise, if Jokic plays, you know, the next game. So, you know, maybe that's what happened, because it is the owner. If it was just a fan, maybe he would have got suspended. But
well, not so he pushed the opposing team's owner. He pushed.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Still, the owner of the Suns, it's better for them if Jokic is playing in the playoffs, regardless of whether he's going to win the series or not.
No.
Yes. Okay. I kind of see what you're saying. Are you saying like stars playing and the overarching product of the NBA?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. I can see that. But that would be very business minded of him, which, I mean, he's the owner of an NBA team. So maybe I'm just saying maybe somebody, you know, gave him good advice there. But that's an interesting statement.
Winning the series or
they
lost the series, or losing admirably
out
to a Jokic-led team because he didn't get suspended.
Man, that fool.
I feel like
nobody remembers those details, man. He came out and publicly said, "Oh, I think he came out and got in front of it." And ironically, you know who his PR guy is? LeBron James' PR guy.
You
know what I mean? So hey, it's all connected. And also, it's funny. Have you ever seen the Ishbia versus Dan Gilbert beef? You ever heard about that? They're both like Michigan State guys, and they're both in the mortgage like lending field. And Ishbia's, whatever his name is, he basically overtook Dan Gilbert in like the space as like the number one guy. And like on Bill Simmons' podcast recently, he came out and was like, "Yeah, it's common knowledge. I don't like that guy," you know. And so it was like owner on owner, like hate. And there was only one person who didn't vote this guy in, and it was Dan Gilbert. Dan Gilbert like held himself away from the vote because he don't want to say yes to him. Like, it's just so petty, you know?
Hilarious.
That was just a little side note. Yeah.
No, I feel you. Yeah. And these guys are massively competitive, just like the players. So, I mean, to get to fucking billionaire, you got to be some kind of cutthroat. So I get it.
Yeah, there's a pretty good segment on HBO Sports about Matt Ishbia and like how he was like on the Michigan State team. Like, he never played because he's kind of a small guy, but he was like very competitive and got a little run, you know, hit some shots every once in a while. But I forget what he did. I guess you got into the mortgage lending business, but you know, this was before he bought the Suns, or he, you know, went in on the Suns with the group.
Oh.
So yeah, pretty good segment. Shout out to HBO Sports. You know, they need to go ahead and send us a check because we shot them out like every 5 episodes, goddamn. But
it'll be the end of HBO, man.
Yeah, Max Sports or whatever.
Yeah, well, that doesn't make any sense, but
that'll be for another podcast. We'll talk about podcast.
All right,
streaming services.
One last thing, ATLP, appreciate you coming on the podcast and, you know, holding it down. You definitely broke it down for us on a couple different topics. The Ja one just now, the 5 points, man, that was good stuff. But you know, the last thing is the YSL case. The shit is kind of crazy. Any thoughts? Like, I don't even really know the details too much, but you know, obviously Young Thug, one of the most popular legendary rappers in Atlanta history, is in jail. Gunna was in jail, out of jail now. Thug could spend a lot of time in jail because he's being accused of being some kind of gang leader. So thoughts, parodies, anything?
I think a lot of people took the headline of, oh, they're using his lyrics against him and all that, but I think that's just kind of like the buzz. But when you look at the meat and potatoes, like, there's enough evidence to put him away for stuff. Like, they found cell phones of him like directing things, you know what I mean? And
other financial things, like they rented a car. I think that was kind of how Gunna got pulled in. They rented a car in his name and then went and did the hit, and then, you know,
they returned it.
Yeah.
Stupidity, right? And so, I mean, honestly, like, unbiasedly, just looking at it, like, look, man, if you can show that he literally was responsible for killing people and stuff, which I get it. He's been rapping about it. I listen to rap music about it, you know, all these things. And for me to say, like, oh man, if he did the crime, he's got to do the time. You know, it is what it is. my belief is if if you do it that blatantly and you did it that stupidly, then you just got to face the music, man. Like if there's the evidence there, cut and dry, I don't know what the evidence is. I'm just saying if there's cut and dry evidence, if you saying, dude, this, that, and the other, like it is what it is. And if you, like I always say, if you want to do the crime, you better be able to do the time. And so, he was really about that life. So this is the anti-Ja situation. He was, as he was getting money, he was trying to get away from it. But I think it finally caught up to him, man, with that YFN Lucci and some other guy, other case. And then they got caught up into this. And so,
didn't YFN Lucci cap 2 of his dudes? Or that was YNW Melly?
Oh, like his own people?
Yeah, I think YNW Melly.
That was YNW. Yeah, that's some other young kid from the Pacific Northwest. But this is YFN Lucci. He's like from like the Stone Mountain or like east side area, I think. And him and Thug have crazy beef. And so they've literally been going after each other. Like they've killed people that have known allegedly of each other's camps and stuff like that. And it's just stupid on Thug's part, man. Honestly, like if he didn't insulate himself enough to where shit is laying on his, like obviously coming up to him, and then people just snitching on him left and right. And I think it's just one of those unfortunate situations where you think people are going to ride and die with you and they don't. And
I mean, dudes are snitching on themselves too, though, man. This is the Ja situation too, and couple points. The whole social media thing with Ja. I mean, I think that's the underspoken thing. Like, I guess he wasn't recording himself, but I mean, come on, like you got to put everything on live. Like, I think social media warps like what we understand, the way we're projecting ourselves into the world, and I think this is pretty prevalent on Twitter. Like, it's like a weird interface between the things that you say and the things that you think. Like our thoughts are not exact versions of what we say. Like we go through this process in our mind to like transform our thoughts into words. But, so Twitter, Instagram, it's like, I think there's this weird, but we have like this weird perception of how we project ourselves through social media. And it's like, you could just like whip the Thule out and, whip the Instagram out. And you don't even realize what you're doing. Like you're fucking, but anyway, saying, so with Young Thug, I mean, like, these dudes is rapping about gang shit. So there's that other aspect of telling on yourself, man,
And I feel like a hypocrite, man, because like the way I am with music, right, with rap, if you're not really doing what you say, I don't like what you're saying, right? So I like to push a T over the Drake, right? Yeah. But then now in the situation, it's proven that Thug was really doing what he was rapping, and I'm over here like, no, why? And so that's why I say it's more sort of situation of, damn, bro, well, how did you end up getting caught? Like
should have been more like Belichick, huh?
Yeah.
Belichick did get caught though. So
oh yeah, you're right. Well,
not caught enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, it's gonna come out soon. Belichick was out there banging too, putting out hits.
Would love to see Belichick on IG Live with the strap. That'd be hilarious.
One more thing about Ja and the whole gangbanging shit, but like the other side with like the Ja situation is like the perception is bad, and then so we can talk about whether it's fair to perceive him as such, but the rap is like really intertwined. Some sections of rap is very deeply intertwined with gang shit, actual gang activity. It's like a lot of drill stuff. I mean, all these drill rappers, there's a lot of drill rappers and there's a lot of beef, people actually shooting at each other, people killing each other. You know what I'm saying? So, and like Ja, he's been recorded, like I think he's maybe even done some interviews where he's directly rapping NBA Youngboy lyrics. Like he's sort of attached himself to NBA Youngboy. So whether it's entertainment or not, when you add the fact that these rappers is really out here doing gang shit, they really out here banging, shooting, clapping at each other, it's hard to detach yourself from that, regardless of how much Ja is just having fun or expressing his right to, you know, own and brandish a gun. I mean, it's just.
I think it is where you start to get, you know, start to tiptoe into racially charged waters, though, when you try to paint, you know, for lack of a better way to describe it, an entire genre of music. That's what rap has been also fighting against for a really long time. Like, and yeah, nobody really likes, you know, fake rap or, you know, positive rap. Like that does, you know, it just kind of doesn't work. It doesn't sell. The dangerous stuff sells. I like Young Thug too, just like you said, Parodies. I totally feel you there. And it's a conundrum. It's a great conflict of interest. I want to make jokes like, oh man, you know, the biggest crime he had was listening to NBA YoungBoy. Shit is trash.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, but even that is like, all right, well, you know, he can like what he likes, you know, because you know, I think we had made this comment in the group chat Tunde, but like country music and all kinds of stuff like that has toxicity in it too. We just kind of, well, one, we're not as exposed to it as, you know, that's not the type of music that we listen to, but nobody is tripping on, you know, when they're doing wild shit. And that is a situation where like toxic behaviors are painted more with a broader brush of thuggery and shit like that on Black persons. I can't say victims. I can't say Black people that are in positions like these, whether it's Allen Iverson, which you mentioned earlier, where the league did change their dress code policy because which was basically racially charged, to be real.
Yeah,
you know, I don't know what the white guys were wearing, but the league became very Black and they didn't like that as portrayed on TV. The sponsors, the money, they didn't like that.
True.
And this is, I mean, that's the only place where I see Ja as quote unquote wrong. I agree with Ehi and others that like, otherwise, I mean, he didn't do anything that was really all that bad.
See, what I'm saying though is that there's actual evidence now that rap, and I'm not saying all hip hop, obviously like Drake is never
You'll have to send me those papers though. You'll have to, we can review them here on this, on RTBT.
No, but there's actual violence. I mean, how many dudes is getting blasted?
Humanity is violent. Human beings are violent.
Dude, it appears to me that this is a different level of violence in rap. That's how I feel. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Well, so I think at this point, okay, so here's where I think it is, right? Rap, so the thing with Thug and I think with Ja, they're kind of intertwined in a sense where Thug, you heard his raps, you heard how aggressive it was, what he was talking about, and you just knew that, you know, when you listen back into it, hindsight, that work he did in the beginning, he was really in it. He was really going through it, and he was working to get out of it, right? And so you're in the middle of it. You're in that grind, and you're working on rap to get out of that situation, right? And so once rap starts to blow up, you literally have to leave that life completely behind because then you have too much to lose. And so where then you're like, then you can kind of feel okay with yourself inside because you're like, oh, well, he did that in his past. That was his environment. And now he's moved on past that. So now this is more poetry than it is like, or self-reflection of the past, or compared to, all right, I'm rapping and now I want to go do some gang shit because I'm rapping, right? And so that's where the Ja shit is, right? He made money, he's feeling himself, he's around this other type of gang culture where other players came up from and is idolized in rap now, to where now he's the opposite of that, right? The opposite of what it's like, oh, now I'm gonna emulate that because that's what's cool. It's like now rap has gotten to the point of its evolution where it's just a bunch of copycats, there's no originality. It's you know, I grew up on Jeezy, you know, and so it's copycat of the trap music, copycat of the drill music, copycat of all that shit. So where somebody that wants to get into rap knows that, okay, that's gonna sell, I'm gonna rap about that shit. It's not genuine, it's not self-reflection, it's not poetry, it's not the real hunger or pain of you see, oh damn, he's really trying to get it out there, he doesn't want to be part of it. So I think that's where the difference is, right? Ja is faking it, and then you hope Thug was just rapping about shit in the past and he's out of it now, right? And where you feel okay with listening to that shit where he's gonna, you know, do that shit.
Right. So first off, salute to Bomani Jones, who also has a show, Game Theory, on HBO's. Shout out again to HBO. But he has this term that I fucking love, and you guys may have heard it before, but it's can't go back all-stars. You know, people who have like that can't go back mentality. People like you're describing, Parodies, that like, yo, I came up out the hood. You know, I had to struggle to get to the league, whether it's NBA, NFL, or rap, and make it. and they're not trying to go back. Sure, they might still have their hood ways and want to give back. But they're doing everything they can to get away from that, bad situations. And it looks, from our perspective, from our outside perspective, because we are not in Ja's life. We didn't grow up with him. We don't know everything. We don't know. We can't, no matter how well covered, he has been via social media or via, journalism, because he's a professional athlete now. We don't know what the fuck is going on, but he is doing quintessential things that are like, yo, I'm trying to go back. I almost want that. Like he's seeking it out. And that is the weird part to me. But, there are other players that you can, draw examples to, like, bruh, Jimmy Butler, people will say, oh man, he's got that dog in him, shit like that, where he's like, yo, I will win with anybody, anytime, anywhere. Don't fucking matter. Cause he don't want to go back to wherever he came from. And sure, he has generational wealth now through, many an NBA contract and sponsorships and shit like that. But the disconnect for me is like, I don't understand why or where this mentality has come from. Especially, again, and maybe we'll never know because we don't know, the 100% of the environment, whatever sculpted Ja to get to this point for him in the first place to think, oh yeah, I need to go to rehab or whatever the fuck, the 8 days of whatever, where Jalen Rose was, damn near crying on TV trying to tell him, to get some help or whatever. And we were all like, bro, this is bullshit. Like, ain't no fucking way. He didn't even, not that he didn't do anything that wrong, because he was doing wrong shit, but it was like, bro, what are we going to do to change this? They were claiming some alcoholism or some shit like that, or, it sounded to me like he was just doing young nigga behavior, which, we've all been 23 and acting up, never to me, myself personally, never to this level. But, you said it earlier that like, this is just young and dumb behavior. But like, even when I was young and dumb and broke more than anything, I'm not trying to go back to being broke. I had more money at 23 than I probably did at 18. And I was definitely not trying to go backwards at any point. So I don't understand where he's getting the mentality to, go backwards. And that's it.
Yeah, I hear you, man. That's what goes to, he's closer in age to the high schoolers than he is to the grown men in the league. And I'm not trying to belittle him, say he's stupid, right? But he's portraying the behavior of somebody that is stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, well put. Well put.
Like, what are you doing, man? So yeah, there's a lot of nuance to it, man. Because even that situation, poor guy's just in the strip club, trying to get some ass. That's it.
Yeah.
He didn't put that up on the girl's face or nothing like that.
Well, I mean, y'all just broke it down, man. That's what you get on RTBTH. Honestly, this is my theory, man. I think social media makes people stupider. And if you're growing up on that shit, I mean, I probably had social media when I was like, we had Facebook, we'll call it 17. So yeah, so he's 10 years younger than me. That means he could have had access to it around 7, 8, 9. And 10 years of that shit, 13 years of that shit, maybe he just did
corrupt your development. But it's not happening to everybody. There's other 23-year-olds in the league that are not out here wilding, right?
Because they'll have $200 million contract. That's why nobody cares about them. That's the thing, right?
Facts.
It's the bag you carry that makes people care.
Yeah. I mean, he has a lot more stress. And other factors to deal with. The more money, more problems, man. That's some real shit.
I'll take them though.
Right. Yeah,
well, you have to have the maturity to deal with those problems. The problems may not necessarily be bad, horrible, ground shattering or, earth shattering problems, but there's more of them, and if you're mature enough to deal with them, then it's just more money. Anyway, that's hashtag RTBTH. ATLP, appreciate you coming on the podcast, breaking it down for us, man. We had a great conversation. Obviously, got to get you back when the NFL season starts, and we get a little bit of that tape on Ritter and the
yes, sir,
the new running back,
beautiful, the Ritter tape, man, the long awaited.
Yep.
First it was the Russia tapes and all those. Now we're on to the Ritter tapes, man.
Maybe he'll bust out like Aaron Rodgers and just be nice.
I think he'll be okay, man. We'll see. We'll see. We'll do a check-in at some point in the season, man. But I appreciate y'all for having me, man. It's always fun coming to talk with you guys about sports, man.
Yes, sir.
Yup. Play that outro, and then you play it. I mean, you could cut me even saying it. Well, I don't care. But this outro is hard, bro. I love all the music, man. This shit is hard. So, yo,
Yes,
great,
sir.
great job, everybody. Parodies, man. You came with it today. You always come with it, but you came with it today. That was fucking great. I loved the 5 points. I was like, oh damn, he got a pen. Did you write down 5 points, bro? I was like,
I'm
oh,
at my
shit.
desk, bro. So I
Yes,
don't want to
bro.
forget these things. I was just jotting shit down, man. I got that stoner memory,
that's
bro.
great,
I don't want to
bruh.
forget what I was thinking.